allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have some public hearings on the agenda for tonight, being 7:01. We have a open public hearing for variance for a side yard setback for the Bread of Life at 700 East Randall Street. Does anybody have any concerns, complaints? Yep, I'll need a motion to close it.
I'll make a motion for the second. Ken said so moved.
Ken said first.
Yeah.
Phil closed it, filed it.
All in favor of closing this open meeting? Aye. Aye. Those opposed? Meeting is closed. Our next public hearing, a variance for an accessory structure on an empty lot for Matthew Hempstead at 1317 West Ryle Drive South. Does anyone have any complaints, issues, or remarks for this one? I will entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor of closing this public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? This public hearing is closed. Our next public hearing is for a variance for an additional accessory structure for Catherine Quarry, 405 West First Street. Anybody have any concerns, complaints, remarks for this one? I will entertain the motion to close this.
Second.
All in favor of closing this public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This public hearing is closed. Our last one, variance for a size of accessory structure for Jared and Hillary Otter, 906 North Cedar Court. Does anybody have any discussions, complaints, remarks on this one? Please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
You're right.
Yeah.
My name is William Stout. I live at the corner of Hamilton and Montgomery. And I have 16 for opposing this structure, 16 signatures for opposition of this structure being built back there.
Sir, are you asking that that be made an exhibit to the public hearing?
I'm sorry.
Are you wanting the board to consider that and make it an exhibit
Yes.
to this? Okay, so you'd have to give it to them. Is that your only copy?
You have another copy of that?
No, I didn't know we were short. We brought one central copy, yes, is all we brought.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, if you're okay giving it to them, they can certainly circulate it amongst themselves. You won't have a copy for yourself to refer to, but that's fine. If you want to
We
give
have a
that.
copy for ourselves.
What's that?
We do have a copy for
Oh,
ourselves.
okay. That's all I was asking,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Sorry about that. Sorry. Thank you.
I would just ask that the record reflect, and the minutes reflect, that there was an exhibit that was produced by Mr. Stout regarding that variance request, and that's been given to you.
Are those all, Mr. Stout, are those all neighbors or?
All the neighbors that are in the area that are on the back side of it, on the side of it.
And what's everybody's concern with the proposed structure?
There's various concerns. some of them are like, they're worried about water issues, they're worried about, structural issues. Good Lord, that thing is gonna be 30 by 40, butting up against people's property lines. I'm hearing all kind of different views.
Are any of these other people here present on that list tonight?
One,
One, okay. Can you come up podium and state your name for the record also?
My name is C.F. McLuhan. I live at 904 North Cedar Court, next door to where the proposal is being made. My wife and I retired and returned to Greensburg in 2005 and acquired the property we live in. And we knew that there were several issues amongst the problems of the house, one of them being water in the crawl space every time we had a hard rain or a lengthy rain. So we sought to correct that through several engineering ideas. We buried our downspouts, pulled them out to the street. We put in sump pumps under the house, and we moved the air conditioner to the high point of the corner of the house and graded the land on one side, particularly where the flooding was occurring. And we corrected the issue back in, for about $20,000 back in 2005 dollars. And we are against this primarily because in this variance, the neighbors would like to put a driveway between our houses, a paved driveway, which I think, first of all, would influence the absorption rate of water in heavy rain. And I have taken pictures, if I may present them to someone.
Yes. Let it be noted in the record that we were receiving pictures. And what are these of?
you want, okay, I can describe them. The first one is outside my side window, looking at their house, their garage. The second one, and you'll see descriptions on the back too. This is the back of their garage, which would be, well, it would be blocked from view from inside my house. This represents another view of that same area from another direction. There is a white picket fence that is added to my fence in the backyard on the property line that would be removed to put that driveway in. Here is another view of that same fence. And on the property line where you may see a draw for the water to get away from the house. And here it is from the house side down to the street, going down. This shows it from the street, and the rocks represent where my downspouts do come out of the front yard. And last but not least, but where he's wanting to put that driveway, I see an alternate possibility of a driveway on the other side of his house, where he is currently parking the car now, if he would still go through with this project. That concludes my presentation. If you have questions for me.
On this picture right here, is your house listed on this one?
This is
Okay,
here.
I wanted to get a reference. That one down there.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to get a reference from where that was all taken from.
White picket fence, that is the property line right now? This is a picture of your house, and then that house, and then the white picket fence here.
This is not a white picket fence. This was from the fence, the white fence begins here
Okay,
and goes around there. There was a closure there when we moved in because they had a swimming pool in the backyard,
okay.
and we had that removed.
So basically, my question, is this the property line where the fence is?
Yes.
Okay,
straight on down to the street.
okay.
You mentioned they want to change the driveway. Is the driveway gonna come up on the side of that garage?
It's my understanding that the driveway will come right around the garage
Okay.
to the barn area back there. So we're concerned about property values and securing a pretty nice view that we have at the moment.
The driveway goes in between your house and their garage, their current garage.
Yes,
It'd be right here.
it's my understanding that it would come right around there. Anything else? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other concern, complaints or remarks about this possible variance or this variance application?
Am I allowed to respond to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Property and we can speak through this hearing as well.
Sorry, my wife just had surgery, so she's gonna sit there. Hello, I'm Jared Otter. We just moved here last year. Basically picked a property on the possibility of building a building somewhere. Landed on this one. As far as water drainage, we know all about that because being woke up at 3 in the morning to a flooding basement is not fun. So we're aware of drainage issues and we address those, and, French drains and such. As far as structural, I'm not sure. Structural issues that would arise through a company that would be building it. The driveway is not permanently, it would be pavers due to seeing lines that are under the ground there. We would not want to permanently block them. And again, drainage probably would not be an issue there due to the French drains and whatever the contractor would suggest to appropriate the water away from our property and the neighbors. As far as the size, it's just mainly for my hobbies. As he showed you, my vehicles are already not all in the driveway. We would like that. My mom does live with us. She would like to park in the garage. I don't know much else what to say about that besides needing a little more room. So, that'd be it. Thank you.
Any other comments? Well, then I will entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor of closing this public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Public hearing is closed. Today is Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023, and the time is 7:14 p.m. The meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals is called to order. At this time, please silence all electronic devices. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary, anonymous survey that is available on the table in the back of the room. Amber, will you please call roll?
Alan,
Here.
Philip,
Here.
Ken,
Present.
Dick.
Here.
Next on the agenda is we have two sets of meeting minutes. We will deal with the public hearing meeting minutes that you got in your packet. Does anybody see any changes, revisions that need to be made to those?
No.
I'll take a motion to accept the public minute meetings,
Public hearing meeting.
public hearing meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The public meeting minutes have been accepted. Now we'll go to the BZ,
The public hearing minutes have been.
public hearing minutes.
The public meeting minutes are what you're bringing up next.
Yeah. Public, and then now we're doing the BZA public meeting minutes. Does anybody see anything that needs to be changed or corrected with those?
No.
I will take a motion to accept the public meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of accepting those meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The meeting minutes have been accepted. So, come up to our new business, Bread Life, Melissa Foist, 700 East Randall.
Yes, we have Dave Herbert here this evening representing Bread of Life. They are requesting a variance to be able to build an outside storage area where there was once an existing walk-in cooler freezer at the old Bread of Life, which is now a clothing type store, Garments of Grace, that they oversee. So they're wanting to, they've removed this outdoor freezer and stuff, and they want to put like a building there for extra storage to fill that in a little bit. So it wouldn't meet the current setbacks, so they're just requesting a variance on that. And Dave, if you want to come on up.
Good evening.
State your name for the record, please.
I'm sorry.
State your name for the record,
David
please.
Herbert?
Are you gonna be the general contractor on this?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now, the actual room that you're wanting to put on there, does it take up that complete, it shows a little white thing here on the back side, on the east side of the building, taking it that was the freezer cooler?
Yes, there should be like a big concrete pad that extended out. We set it back just a foot each way to be able to fall underneath the 300 square foot rule for the industrial side of it. So that put us right at the 300 foot. So, and then it's gonna go right off to the edge of the building where it is now. And I went and measured from the building to the next building next to it, and there's 14 feet between the two. I know industrial setbacks are a lot more, but it still kind of gives you an idea how much further that structure is going to be. And the only thing that's going to be in the structure is some shelving and storage for clothing. There's going to be 2 lights, 1 receptacle, and that's all that's going in there, because it's going to give them more space to be able to store more clothing for the needy. For even if somebody has a house fire and loses everything, they can go there and shop. They get it all for free. It's really going to be a nice thing, to have more clothing there. They do get a lot of donations from different places, and this extra storage would just really help them to be able to accommodate the needy, the homeless, just whoever would actually need it. One day we may need it, one of us. You just never know. So.
Would the storage building be connected to the main building? or
Yes,
standalone?
it will be connected to the main building.
Access in and out?
Yes,
From the main building?
just from the main building. We are going to tear out the old concrete pad. We're going to go ahead and dig the footer, pour the footer, have the block laid. We're going to insulate down each side. We're going to stick with the local codes that we need to accommodate to build this. It will be a permanent structure from that point. It will be something that will always be there from time we're done with it. So.
And it's gonna be approximately 15 by 20,
Yes.
and you're gonna make it flush with the north side of the building, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll just be able to walk straight in. It'll just be a double door to be able to get in from that point. So. Strictly storage is all it's going to be for. So.
And the setback is over there on that north side, right?
Yes, it'd be on the north side. It's just, and it's the building. There was a barn built behind the other house, so that's not a very old building, and it wasn't there to begin with for how long ago. But it just, and that was in the industrial area too. So that whole block is in the industrial zone for some reason. I don't,
So the new structure will match the setback with the main building then, correct?
yes, with the existing building that's there, it'll be, yeah, it'll match what is already there, has been there for, I don't know how long that building's been there, to be honest with you. So.
Anybody else have any questions or concerns? I will take a motion to approve this variance.
So moved.
I'll second.
Amber, will you do a roll call, please?
Philip,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Alan.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, we're up to our next one, be Matthew Hempstead at 1317 West Ryle Drive.
Yes, this evening we have Matt Hempstead coming requesting, he lives at 1317 West Ryle Drive, that is his primary residence. He also owns the lot right next door to that, which has nothing on it. He is requesting to build a 24 by 30 detached garage on that lot that is adjacent to his home. It has a gas line running through one side of it, so it prevents a normal size home typical of that subdivision to be built. So that is what he is here for, requesting a variance to be able to put a building there. And Mike, you can come on up.
Michael Hempstead.
Have you been able to try to, since you own both these lots, have you been able to try to combine them?
Yes, and we went and talked to Andy Scholes. As a matter of fact, we just hired him to do it. And then he come back to me. He says that when they built Ryle Edition, nothing was staked, nothing's properly marked. He would have to resurvey the whole section. And that would be a minimum of $3,000 to $6,000. And he suggested we try to get a variance. That's why we're here. The home we want to build on it, if we're one lot, would be automatic. We could do it. And as you can see with the gas line where it goes through there, it's right in the middle of where you'd want to put a normal size house. And that's a high pressure gas line that goes to Delta Faucet. I believe it has a 15-foot easement for it. So there's already a driveway that was put in when they built that subdivision. If you've been by there, it doesn't show up very good in this picture, but there's a blacktop driveway all the way to, and it is 30, I believe it's 33 feet wide. So we'd want to put that garage exactly at the end of that driveway, and it'd be a 24 by 30.
You said a home cannot be built on that lot. Is that-
Do you looking at the picture there? See where that goes through there? You couldn't build much one because where that gas line divides that, we're almost right through the center of that lot.
When you build a home in there, you'd need a setback off that gas line anyhow, so that even limits that space further as to where you could build.
Yeah. So you see there, I kind of drew it to scale. It is about where it would be. I mean, that's just 24 by 30 right there. So, anything beyond that, you're going to be encroaching on that gas line for sure.
Has there ever been anything on that lot?
No. He has a little portable building that you can see there towards the back there now.
Does anybody else have any questions or concerns? I will entertain a motion to grant this variance.
Second.
Amber, would you please do roll call?
Philip,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Alan.
Yes. Congratulations, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're up to our third variance for Catherine McCreary at 405 West First Street.
Yes, Catherine McCrary will come this evening requesting a variance to be able to build an additional accessory structure for property at 405 West First Street. She already has an existing structure, so this would be a variance requesting an additional one. And you can see she's drawn out some drawings where it would be located and that such thing. I have not received any phone calls, concerns, emails, or anything about it, so
What is that zoned?
that is an R2.
What's the max on that? Is it 600?
No, R2 is 720.
Seven, okay.
Todd, you can come on up. No one else reaches.
I'm gonna ask you to state your name.
Yes, please.
So the shed is gonna come out, correct?
The shed's coming out, yes.
And you would get to that garage through the alley, right?
Yes. I would have a service door on the side, but to pull into it, it would be from the alley, yes.
Does anybody have any questions or concerns on this one? No. I will entertain a motion to grant this variance.
Move.
Second.
Amber, would you do a roll call, please?
Philip,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Alan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, our last one tonight is Jared Hillary Otter at 906 North Cedar Court.
As you already know, in the public hearing, there was the issues that were addressed, the concerns. This would be on the size of the garage that he's wanting to build. It is an R1 district, zoning district, so the limit is 600 square feet, and he is requesting a 30 by 40 square foot building.
What's that come to? I'm not that good at math. Is that
1200.
1,200?
Yeah.
Thank you. What is the rationale behind the difference between R1 and R2 being 600, 720?
R1 is a more restrictive zoning, it's the most restrictive residential zoning, and versus an R2, so it's just, yeah. Okay, I will have Mr. Albert come back up.
Jared Otter.
You stated in part of this, I can't find it right at the moment, that your neighbor has what you would consider a similarly sized garage.
Yes, behind us across the street, I believe is where it's located exactly.
Behind you where?
Across the street.
At 908 North Hamilton Drive.
Yeah.
Is there a similar sized building
They
there?
did not have to request a variance.
Well, is there a similar sized building there?
Not to that size, no.
Out there, okay. Well, that is double what the maximum allowed is in that zoning.
Yes.
And then you would add another 30 by 8 foot lean-to onto it.
Yeah, it's just an overhang to have a porch to sit on, sit under.
How many vehicles and stuff did you say you were gonna put in there?
We have 5 vehicles, 2 motorcycles, and a utility trailer currently.
And the driveway would go between your neighbor's house and the garage?
if possible.
Because you have a neighbor on the other side, correct?
Yes, and it's the shortest distance.
Anybody have any questions or concerns on this one?
What is that a two-car garage there now?
Currently, yes.
I'm concerned is of the size of it, obviously, and then the lean-to on the side.
I do like having vehicles parked in the garage versus sitting out the, we've got 2 motorcycles, UTV, army cars, just visibility was good, was having a garage, is that better looking than having a bunch of vehicles? But I also, I mean, I agree, it's double the, what's permitted, and it's an R1, so.
Anybody have anything else?
Just as a point of clarification. So I saw that you went to a construction company to get the designs
Yes.
and your estimate. Do you know if they did any sort of hydrological study or any sort of evaluation as to what the water output would be off of an accessory building double the size of the one that's in there?
No, they haven't even came out to the site yet. I wanted to see if we could be approved before we have to make a down payment. And
I don't know if it's BZA or planning, I know I have seen one of those two, bodies request that, what's the word, hydrological.
Or some sort of
Like
analysis
some kind of
from the
engineering,
builder,
yeah.
from an engineer that would tell you exactly how much. Because I mean, I would know, double the size of what's in there currently, you will get a lot of water off of
But
that.
if there's already issues in that area. Yeah, maybe, no, I agree with that.
I will entertain a motion, if you guys don't have a problem, to at least get a survey done, so we can cover all our bases on that.
I mean, so what I would recommend to you as far as this particular variance is, obviously you've identified the concerns of the size. I would call this variance to a vote. I mean, seeing whichever way it goes, if the vote is not successful and he is not granted the variance, perhaps let the property owner know that, you know, you've heard the concerns raised, because there's nothing to prohibit him from going and asking for another variance. You know, if he goes back to his builder and said, look, I need it to be a smaller building, or I need to have some sort of analysis done as to how much water is going to come off, because that was what was concerned. And, you know, potentially talk to your neighbors and see, find out exactly how big that other one is. I mean, if they didn't have a problem with that one, I think they'd be hard pressed to come up with 16 names that says you can't do what the other guy already did. I mean, things like that. But I would go ahead and, rather than condition your approval, I would go ahead and make your determination on this particular variance with some caveats that if it does not, you know, is not granted, he may want to consider what he's heard here today, particularly since he hasn't put a down payment yet and he's still working with a builder. He can go back and say, okay, I need to have a different building designed. Because I would agree, I mean, the 1,200 foot square structure with an additional lean-to on it is a good sized building in an
It's R4. gonna take it 1,400 square feet plus 1,420 or.
Yeah, that's a good sized building in an R1.
If I could interrupt here for just a moment, I don't believe that we can make someone get a survey.
Nope.
So we, I believe, need to be careful about how we.
No, I was gonna say, I don't think you can make him do that at all. I think you can say that if you want a variance, there's clearly been issues raised by the neighbors and the community members related to the amount of water that comes off of that building. And these folks have all said that they also had concerns about that. So if I was going to be coming back to this body with a different request, I would certainly wanna know, but you don't have to.
So another thing is if you're, I mean, are you talking like a stormwater type study? Or what exactly? Because it has to be on over an acre lot. We can't, I'm not
But
quite sure
I was
what.
gonna say, it wouldn't, I mean, there's lots of engineers out there that can tell you how much water generally is gonna come off the roof of a building of that structure. And if it's not a concern, it's not a concern, but, I mean, I'm not saying, I know that, you know, as Philip mentioned, there are hydrological engineers that can be consulted with to determine whether or not this is like what their opinion is as far as how much water would be increased.
Yeah, I'm just stating that the way our ordinance is right now, it, you know, for a water study, it has to be on over an acre lot.
Right, no, I agree.
So that's what I just,
Yeah, I don't think it's a stormwater necessarily. I think I would, if I was standing in this gentleman's shoes and and I'm trying to get a building built, I would certainly want to address those concerns because it's been raised by my neighbors. And I would do that by consulting with an expert in engineering, because I'm not one. So I agree, yours, right,
okay.
I agree with you. And Alan, I believe this gentleman, but it's your choice, because we've already had the public hearing, so this is not necessarily an open forum for additional comment, because that's why you had the public hearing. Mr. Otter here is speaking because he is the landowner.
Okay, I will take a motion to deny this particular variance.
Sorry, you can't have a motion to do a negative.
Yeah,
So you
I will
have to-
take a motion to grant this particular variance. Do roll call, please. Andy.
I want you to have a motion in a second.
I'll move.
no, just wait a
So-
minute, sir.
There you go.
Philip,
No.
Ken,
No.
Dick,
No.
Alan.
No. Mr. Otter, though, you heard the concerns tonight, for sure, if you did not already know them.
I didn't know.
So, I mean, you have something to go on at least. And, like Mr. Stevens said, there is nothing stating you can't come back for another try at a variance on this very same thing. But you may be a little bit more, I don't want to say prepared, but have more answers to possible concerns.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will take do we have anything else?
Terry, you got anything else?
I have a question, just on this comment that he made about the rain, I mean.
You need to go up to the microphone.
Maybe the wind is out again, sorry, on the comment that he made as far as rainfall on the roof. I apologize. But it wasn't necessarily the rainfall, it was gonna be the building, the structure, and the drive that's gonna be put in. How it's gonna change the land, you know what I'm saying? The land structure, not necessarily the rainfall on the roof of the building. It's gonna be how the demographic of the ground's gonna be, how it's gonna change everything around the area is how it may change as far as flooding the area is kind of where I was going with it. So, but, okay,
Yes, thank you.
all right.
Anything else? I will take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So, second.
Gentlemen, we are finished.
If you want, yes.